Hello everybody, it's this time of the week again where we're going to get creative, making something pretty and hopefully useful, and something that will teach you maybe a new technique or a new trick that you didn't know before. It's Steffi from the Makers here, and it's all about pansy flowers today. I'm already wearing one, and you can make one with me today, whether you are ready to stab along right now or whether you need to get your ducks in a row first. In any case, you'll be absolutely fine to re-watch this video, of course, so you can make it later if need be. Right, so let's have a quick look who's here today, because of course this is a live stream even if you're watching it later. And I think there's quite a few of you already having a chat. You've become so chatty, guys. It's lovely actually. Hi Helen, hi Faith, hi Mo. Lots of chatter going on between those. Oh, Emma is here. Emma, excellent. That's great. Hi Pamela, Pamela all the way from Oregon, saying good morning. And of course in the UK it's actually afternoon. Diane is here. Alicia is here. Rachel is here. Hi Rachel, are you on your own today? And who else have we got? Yes, so thank you, Alicia. You have just basically taken my words out of my mouth. So later on, if you're watching this live, that will only apply to you. But later on, at just gone 4, I will be giving a live tour of our workshop over on Woolfest Online 2020, which of course their event has been cancelled too. Like so many of all of these lovely events that we normally go to. But we are really pleased to be part of it, and I wanted to give you as much insight of what we actually do. And I thought, well, actually, rather than cramming everything into this small screen, why not take you with me on a virtual tour? And that's over on Facebook, Woolfest Online 2020. So what else are we talking about? I think we're talking about advent calendars now. Now I will just put this into perspective. Today is the hottest day of the year of 2020 so far. And we have got a very excitable crowd who are jumping up and down at their seams because they have just placed their advent calendar order on our website. And we've had a special early and then an early bird, and then we just have a normal price. But I can tell you now, we're already in the early bird, which means that some of you have missed out on the extra early offer. It's not terribly much. It's only £1, so you're not going to be gutted. But I think that's what we're talking about now. So about all these amazing advent calendars that have been ordered. So now they want to know who's been the first to order it. I actually don't know it. I just know, Alicia, that you were second. So it's killing you not knowing, isn't it? This is hilarious. So just people chattering. I'm ordering today, says Faith. Hi Helen, Diane and Faith, says Alicia. Hi everyone. Lizzie is there. Hi Jane. Hi Steffi and everyone. Made it today. Didn't get back from my appointment in time on Tuesday. Oh, we missed you on Tuesday, but I'm glad you're here today. Lots of Dianes. Diane. And I think Teresa is there. Hello, that's a new name I hadn't spotted earlier. Hello Donna. Donna says hello everyone. Erica is there. Hi Erica. Michael is there. Hi, Michael says hi everyone. And yeah, that's it. So, oh, and Emma says she knows who the first person was. Oh dear, I genuinely don't know it, so I wonder who that was. I might ask her later, and then it's only her and me and Sophie who know. Anyway, not teasing you or anything. So today we're doing pansies. Let's get to work. And I will just say that if you have bought from us the ingredients to make the pansy, you might have had 2, potentially 3 options. The first option that we've offered is that we sent out what we call a workshop pack. And this is what they sort of typically look like when we rock up at a workshop anywhere when we are allowed to go to workshops and we're teaching people. And they usually get a felting mat. In the future, this is going to be our basic wool mat. And then in there is a needle somewhere. Yeah, there it is. There's a needle stuck in there. And then you always get the instructions. These are yours to take home. And then, of course, you get the materials to make the project that you want. In this case, you have a whole array of colored wool bats. Now, I'm just going to tell you, this makes one pansy, and you will have absolutely loads of wool left over, because what we are doing here is we're giving you the choice to make different colored pansies. As you can see, you could be making a blue, or maybe a purple one, or a pink one, or even a yellow one. And they're all here. So there's a blue one. You could be making this, holding it upside down, apologies, that way. There, you could be making this, or you could be making just a yellow one, like that. Or you could be making more of a purpley pink one, or you could be making, well, whatever variation you want. There are lots and lots of pansy colors around, and some of them are even quite sort of rare types. So that's why there's so much wool in there, but only a tiny felt sheet. And then you also get, you can just see it there, you get our special extra magic brooch pin, which is a no-sew brooch pin, and I will show you how it works. And no, it's not a safety pin, just in case you think I'm winding you up. Now, you could have had that, and there are still a few available online if you want to order it and watch the video again. Or you can get our Pansy Flower Pack. Now, the Pansy Flower Pack hasn't got the felting tools or the felting mat in there at all, but it has got all the different color felt sheets in there. It has got our magic brooch pins, and it's got even more wool in there to make all the pansies, and it makes up to 12 pansies. So there is a lot more in there to make the pansies, but it hasn't got the tools in it. And this is available in our shop all the time, so you can buy this at any time, whenever you fancy it, or whenever you've got the funds in to do so. Right. Just to clarify this, the third option is that you've already got felt and you've already got wool at home, and you might already have got a template of how to make the pansies, and then you're in business too. Now, when you know how to make the little pansies, you will also then know how to make the big pansies. We have got a tutorial of how to make giant flowers on our YouTube channel. I think there's also like a written tutorial on our Facebook. No, not Facebook, our web shop, too many places. It is the same principle. It's just a faster way of felting it down, and with these we have used wool tops. So slightly different type of wool, contrary to the little pansies where we have used wool bats. Now, if you've had our Pansy Fairy kit, or maybe you're a subscriber, then you will have hopefully made a very beautiful little pansy fairy like that, and decorated her with pansy flowers. And I will tell you now, these pansy flowers, they have been cheated. They have been colored in with Sharpie pens or any felt tip pens that you've got to hand. So there is other ways of making these pansies, but we of course like using our needle and stabbing it into wool, because it's fun and very therapeutic and all the rest of it. We still got a few of these pansy fairy kits, so it's no longer the subscription, because they finish on the end of each month, and this was last month. So if you want to make a little fairy to go with your amazing pansy flowers, and wouldn't it be lovely to put the fairy, can you imagine it sitting with this next to her? So it's like, that's probably sort of the relation of how I imagine the fairy size compared to the proper pansy, but obviously the other way around, if you see what I mean. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. There you go. That's basically all from me chittering and chattering now. I'm just going to put this to one side, so I can now start you off by doing the fairies. In any case, what you do need is you do need a template, and there is a template here on our instructions if you go to page number 3, and the template is here. Now, it's not rocket science to make one up yourself. It's not a complicated template. You will need to cut out 3 of these shapes and 1 of this, and then this one is even optional. It's not strictly required. You will also see there is a photo of different types of pansies that you could be making from the wool that comes in the pack. So these are the real pansies. This one is one that has been made, and so are these 2 here. So you can see that they really, really do look like the realistic article. Right. So I have cut a little corner, or even two, and I have cut out my templates already. So you cut out the what's almost the heart shape without the dip in the middle, and then what I would call I call this a figure 8. So you need to cut your templates out from the instruction sheet, and while you're doing that, I'm going to have a little look what's going on here. So what have we got? Oh, there's more people joining. I have to scroll back until I get. So it's 4:20. I did ask Emma. I said, so what time is it again? Is it 10 past 4 or 20 past 4? And I got it wrong, even though I did ask her just before. Okay. Still, oh my goodness, you're so, honestly, you are such a chatty lot. I cannot believe how much chatter is going on here. Okay, I think I've got to the end of the last one. Nobody ask anybody how they are, please, because we'll never get to the end of this chatter. Oh, no, of course you can. I think I'm at the end of this. Lots of saying hello and all the rest of it. Yeah, so 40% of our advent calendars have gone. Alicia says, Faith, I haven't tried wet felting yet, but saw you on the comments on Woolly Wednesdays. Hello everyone. Hi Steffi, glad to see. Hi everyone. It's a lovely workshop, saw it in January. So you're clearly all talking about something that I've absolutely no idea about. But we do little bits of wet felting. It's quite strange that we often find that people who like wet felting don't like needle felting, and then people who, or it's not that they don't like it, they're not naturally drawn towards it, and people who like needle felting, did I just say that? And people who like wet felting don't naturally feel drawn towards wet felting. I think it's fair to say that I'm a needle felter through and through. I have tried wet felting, but I'm such an impatient crafter that I really don't like to wait until things are dry, and I'm just the thought of it already makes me think, how can I dry things quicker? I don't know, fan heater, hair dryer, anything, radiator. How can I make things dry quicker? So for me, it's I just like just stabbing it, putting to one side, picking it up again, stabbing a bit more, as and when it fits into my busy life, because you know, a lot of us are actually quite busy doing all kinds of things, and we're dipping in and out, and needle felting is great for that. So that's why, I guess, why we needle felt and not wet felt, even though lovely wool is being used for both. Oh, and Rachel has got Daniel here today as well. Hi Daniel. So what else have we got? Oh yeah, I had actually got to all of this. Oh, Chandra is here. Hi Chandra. Alex is here. It is actually quite cool in this room that I'm sitting in. Upstairs, they're all suffering. They're melting away like ice cream in a cone, which sounds quite nice. I wish I had one like right now. Ain't cool in mine, Alex, says Lizzie. Oh dear. You survived the hot car. Oh dear. Yes, well, this is it. I want a pansy fairy. Well, Alicia, good news is you can make one. So Donna says, it is rather warm here. Got my workroom window wide open. OH is streaming. Is this your, what is OH? Is that old husband, or I can't think of another word starting with O. I nearly said awesome, but it doesn't start with O, that starts with A. Odorous husband. No. Maybe in this weather. What is OH? Somebody please tell me. I really need to know now. Okay, I can't think of other words than old and odorous, and they're not very nice. So, outward bound husband. No, that's too many words. Okay, have had to turn up volume on laptop to you, Steffi. You might want to turn the volume down again. I've just insulted your husband. Annette says hi. I needle felted my pansies for my pansy fairy to see if I could manage it. And you did so well. Emma, I have given my husband a list of things I want, or just gift certificates. He had best order. My birthday is in July. Ah, you're so lucky. I would love to have my birthday in July. I'm in boring October when the world starts turning into this permanent autumnal season. If you already have, oh no, that's Emma saying. So if you already got, you can just order some instructions. Oh yes, brilliant. Oh yeah, that's right. So that I forgot to mention that. Thank you, Emma. So if you already have got all the materials, we actually sell the PDF, which is part of the water lilies or lotus flower that tutorial that I did a little while ago. Sitting in the garden watching. Okay, so Emma says, good questions, Alicia. I'll leave the exact explanation to Steffi. Okay, I can explain pre-felt. I know now. Oh, can you see? I'm sticking to the paper, so it's actually not that cool in here, but it's cooler than upstairs. So basically, if you've got a piece of felt, like you get in the, I'm going to open this now, like you get in here, this has been stabbed by industrial felting machine needles, thousands of them sitting in there over and over and over and over until it makes a solid piece of fabric. I don't think there's any more shrinkage in there. So it's a solid piece of fabric. It's quite thin, and that's what we use. It's a wool viscose mix. This one is for most of our pictures, flowers, clothes for the doll's house dolls, and so on and so forth. If you I haven't got a piece of pre-felt here now, but the pre-felt is a really thin, very loosely felted sheet of wool, and if you can easily tear it because it has and sometimes if you look really closely you can see all the needle pricks in it, and it comes in different thicknesses, so it can be really thin, almost see-through, and then slightly thicker. And it comes in different colors. We actually sell it online in white, and a lot of people use that as a background to wet felt onto. So you lay your fibers out and almost paint with the wool, and then you have the water and the soapy water and the movement and rolling it that creates the felting process. That's basically the difference between felt and pre-felt. And because the fibers are only very loosely felted, they sort of grip into the fibers that you lay on top. And so in the end, everything becomes just the same thickness, the same sheet. You can't tell anymore what you've actually used as a background. Hope that explains it. Faith just says, "No, Emma, I just did an order. Hubby will kill me." No, he won't. He's far too nice. Lockdown friends forever now, Steffi. You got us all together. Oh, thank you, Alicia. I hope I have. Diane says to Diane, hi Diane, so am I. There's so many Dianes here. Pamela says, Advent and no sew pins managed. Yay me. Great. Well done. I've done both, but prefer needle felting as it's easier to pick up and put down. Thank you, Jane. That's exactly what I've been saying. Where is the Advent? I think you mean the Advent calendar, probably, Erica. So it's on our website. I think Emma has probably maybe read this. If you haven't read this, or if you've already replied, then just ignore me. The makers, that's right. Other half, Steffi. So I'm one of the S's at the end of the makers. I think I'm missing chats here because you're so busy. And Sophie, of course, is the other half. She's actually working from home today. Oh, I see. OH is other half. I get it now. Oh my God, I've called him old husband and odorous husband. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, but old husband has made me really laugh. Well, I'm glad it made you laugh. Don't tell him. He probably won't find that so funny. I'm going to have to think of a really nice word that starts with O now. I'm thinking. Oh, can't read and think. I love both. Wet felting is fun too. Just bang it in the dryer. Oh yeah, that's right. A dryer. Well, you see, I try not to use the dryer when I don't have to. But yes, that would be an option. Needle felting for me is more controlled, but I do love making hats and gloves with wet felting technique. Absolutely right. I totally agree, which is why I don't have any hats or gloves. I've got an older half. Oh, that's better. That's much more tuned down. My birthday is 4 days after Christmas. That's not a good birthday, Jane. How did you manage that? Mine is an older half too. Mine too, by 12 years. Mine by a decade. Same here, Annette. He's an older half, 12 years age gap. So just I'm not just saying this because I want to please you all. I've also got an older half, and he's also 10 years older than me. So this must be the 10 years older husband group, maybe 10 to 12 years older. Who's got a much younger husband then? That's what I want to know. Anyway, let's not talk about husbands anymore. Let's get felting, because this could get awkward. Right. So I've got my template cut out. Hopefully with all of this going on, you've got yours cut out as well. And then I'm going to go a little bit smaller now so that you can see what I'm doing here. So this is now a question of using your piece of felt strategically so that you have lots of, well, you have the scope to use it for all of the shapes that you need to. And so first of all, you're going to draw on there whatever pen you prefer. I'm using a pencil because I don't want a great big line, especially because it's a white felt showing. So I'm using a pencil that's quite faint, and I'm pointing one of the petals into the corner here, so that's now, you can probably just about see that. Then I'm going to put the other one in the next corner, so I'm making the best use of this piece of a small piece of felt. Could even get right to the edge. Second one, and then my third one fits in here. And that is how you get the best use out of that small piece of felt. Get 3 of the same petals, like that. And then you've got space for the number 8 figure. Draw that on there as well. That's why I always say to you also, if you have scraps of felt left, keep them, because you never know, they might just be big enough to make a pansy. And then if you have got that little back one, I've had that somewhere but I can't find it now, it will fit into the corner, so I'm just hand drawing one now there. And then you need your little scissors, and you're going to cut these shapes out. That's the next thing you're going to do. So one after another. If you're not such a precise cutter, don't worry about it, because that's one of the things I love about needle felting, is you never have to be that precise, because nature is not perfect. So if one of your petals is ever so slightly smaller, or it has got a little kink in it, don't worry, just go for it. Which is why it's also really quite easy to make up your own template, because it doesn't have to be that precise. And also you learn from, if you're getting it wrong, then just make another one. It's not much is lost, just a tiny piece of felt. Right, with my figure 8 coming along nicely here. If you've got young children, like really little children, my children used to love making chains, necklaces, that's what I'm trying to say, or just decorative chains from colourful felt. White is obviously not so colourful, but you can have just all these little bits that I've got left over here. You can keep those even, and just and cut them into sort of little odd shapes like that. Put them in a box, and if you imagine, there's lots of colourful ones there, and you start collecting these, and when you've got quite a few, you can, depending how old your child is, you can let them loose with a either with a sharp needle or with a blunt needle like a darner, and then they can start threading all the different coloured felt pieces up, and they love it because they make like long caterpillars or like a necklace that they can wear. And if they want to add the odd bead in the center, then that's great too. Right, I'm going to take the templates out of the equation now, because you need to see these bits here mainly. So now the main thing is to understand how a fairy, not a fairy, we're not doing a fairy, how a pansy flower is constructed. And the way that it is that you've always got 2 petals at the back, so these 2, and one of them is almost entirely hidden, and then you've got exactly the same petal at the front. Then you've got 2 petals at the side here, which is the figure 8, and that is basically how a fairy is no, get your fairy out of your head, Steffi. How a pansy flower is constructed. So if you look at the pansies here very closely, I've got my 2 petals here at the back. One is almost entirely hidden, that one. Then I've got the figure 8 here, which looks like 2 petals, but in fact we've made it into one shape, and then the front one here. And then on the back, this is felted together with that little disc, which is entirely integrated into the whole of the pansy. You don't need to have that disc. There are other ways of making it stick, so to speak, by just stabbing into it. So the first thing that you also need to understand is that most pansy flowers have got the 2 same petals at the back. They're almost identical, so they tend to be the same style, the same decoration, the same pattern, the same whatever you want to call it. So they are, in this case, they're both purple. In this case, they're both purple and pink. In this case, they're both purple and pink. And well, if you're making a single colored pansy, it's even easier. And I'm wearing one here, which I might just take off because that is sort of slightly different, but it has the same principle that these two back petals. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my pansy flower off my top here. So you can see that here these two are the same color, these two, and then this one is slightly different. So we're only focusing on on these 2 here. And for this you need your felting mat. And you have to decide what color pansy you're making. If you're felting along with me, I'm going to make one that's, I think I will make one like that, so that I've got purple in the back and then more pink in the front. So for this, I'm literally just taking the wisps of purple that come in my pack. If you want to lighten it up a little bit, you could mix it with a tiny bit of the light pink. And you can see how little fibers I'm using. I really am very sparing. And just mix it just to lighten it up a little bit, the pink, so it's not a dark purple as it is. And then all you do is you just lay the wool on top of these little felt petals, and you're going to stab it in. And just if you saw me do it, I try to lay out the fiber so that it is sympathetic with the shape of the petal, and then it goes from the tip to the way to the back. So I'm going to do this, repeat this in a minute. In the meantime, when you felt something flat, you have to keep lifting it off because the fibers get sort of pushed into the felting mat. And for those who don't know it yet, but I am using one of our earth-friendly felting mats, which we absolutely love. It's got a soft, thick top, and then it's got a firmer base, and the soft top takes the needle really comfortably, and then the harder base slows the needle down before it hits the table. And the top one is 100% wool, so you can compost it entirely, and the base one is 70% wool and 30% man-made fiber. But in real terms, unless you give up felting, you should never have to replace that one. Even the top one you might not ever have to replace because it just lasts forever. It might just be cosmetic reasons that you want a new one because they come in this pure lovely virgin wool color. So I'm just making another little batch. It's really important you work with small batches. You can so easily over fill this little delicate flower, and it's the emphasis is on delicacy. So just is that the right word to use when you want something to be delicate, or is that food? Am I thinking of food? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Just keep it delicate, keep it really thin, and don't worry if there's fibers sticking out. That's just one of those things. So just color it in, and if it has sort of a white outline, I think that adds to the charm, but if it bothers you, then just felt closer to the edge, and remember to take it off. If you want to smooth down the top a bit more, you can use the 7-needle felting tool. Yeah, definitely out, and just stab into that. Oh god, that's making the camera wibble, which it shouldn't. Right, try that again. No, still making it wibble. What am I wibbling? Okay, I don't know why it's wibbling, so I'm not going to go quite as vigorously. Just go in there with the 7 felting needle tool. Just be quite gentle with that. If you have got a brush mat, which is what the 7 felting needle tool is meant to be used with, then you'll find that you have to push less hard, and you can just stab in there and that will just smooth down the fibers. You can do this entirely, or this whole pansy, with a single needle. Unless you want to make a large pansy flower, then you will need a multi-tool. Well, unless you want to stop for a long time. So now I'm coloring in the same shape petal for the back petals, and it's exactly the same shape, and it's the same design. So I'm mixing a little bit of that dark purple with the lighter pink and color the shape in. There we are. So that looks quite nice, getting there. You can also use the prim tool for this if you've got it. That one has got 7 needles ready to fire. Works really well. And again, I'm wibbling too much on the table. I have to work out where the table is wibbling, because this table is not connected in any way or form where the camera is. So this is really strange. Maybe the whole room is shaking. It's not that bad. Right, there we go. So remember to lift it off, and you're only felting from one side. That's really important to note. Only felting from one side. So I'm just gonna cover the side a bit, and just work in really tiny batches. So of all that wool that I've just shown you that I have, I've still got loads left over. There's hardly any that has gone onto that felt piece. And what I do want to happen is I want that shape, it will sort of slightly bend up, and I think that's really, really lovely that that happens, because that's exactly what real flowers do. They're not deadpan flat. They're quite sort of you know, they shape, and they sort of, yeah, they're alive basically. So that's good. Here we go. Just put that on there and pull it off. So if I can just see that Alicia is saying she's using her brush mat and it works great. Sophie would be proud. Absolutely, Sophie would be very proud. She loves her brush mat and her 7 needle felting tools. So there we go. That's all. That's the 2 petals that are going to be at the back. They're done. Now, if it really, really bothers you that there are tiny little hairs sticking out, then you can use the scissors and just trim them back a bit so that you have a neater edge. Personally, it doesn't bother me at all, but some people might be offended by that. That's fine. You can just cut these back. And then we're going to work on the large front petal, which is of course exactly the same shape as the 2 at the back. But now this petal and the figure 8 petal are often they're sort of mirror images. So they can be slightly different color. And in this case, I'm going to give them a little bit of a brighter pink. So I'm mixing now the deep purple with the sort of hot pink or fuchsia pink to get a different mix from what I have just, and it makes it a bit redder. I'm even going to add a bit more of that pink in there, because I do want it to be quite a different color. Go and look at pansies in the garden or anywhere you can see them, and you will find that they're just one of the most colorful and loveliest flowers, and they're all different. I've sort of we went to the Royal Horticultural Show last year in Malvern, which of course was also cancelled this year, and I saw so many different colored pansies that actually started making these quite sort of, I want to say rare breeds, but that's not what they are. They're rarer looking ones. So if you want to go off the beaten track and make special looking pansies, then you can just look up images online of pansy flowers, and then you can see lots of different variations. So this one here now is more of a pink purple than like sort of a, like this one looks quite different. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. I'm staying within the same tone, but I am making it a little slightly different. I think that if you start with my multi-tool, there we are. And then if you feel like that, as I said, trim the hairy bits off. You might have got enough of hairy bits right now with all this lockdown going on, not being able to go anywhere to have hairy bits chopped off. You might want your pansy flowers to be really nice and smooth. There we go. Right, now we've got that bit here, and we want the same color on here as we have on this one here. So these are in sympathy with each other, or in harmony with each other, however you want to call it. And for this, so I need to mix a little bit of the purple and the pink again. And mixing wool is done by laying the fibers on top of each other and just pulling them apart until you've got a nice nice new variegated mix. And then you lay that on there, spread it out a bit, stab it in, and fill the felt shape in, and then you do that on the other side as well. Spread it out a bit. It doesn't really matter if it's not exactly precise. I promise you, if you look in nature, nothing is precise. Everything has got, it's the big picture that looks perfect, but actually if you look in detail, there are lots of things that are not quite right. You know, there might be a little torn off petal on some of the flowers, and I'm just going to peel this off. I might just have to put a little bit more here to fill it in a bit more, and that seems good enough from where I'm standing. So that's it now. That's all of the petals filled in. Believe it or not, that's that job done. And I'll just let you catch up with that while I just look at some of the comments, but I'm going to go a bit bigger so that ladies out here, and then you can see, there we are, what I've been making those. Okay, so you need, if you're catching up, then catch up, and just have a look at oh, okay, I think we're talking about young husbands now. Younger husband, no thanks, not into puppy training. Oh my god. Oh, well, it depends on the husband, I guess. My husband is 7 years younger than me. Lucky lady here. There you go. Oh, thank you, Emma, for sharing the link to the advent calendars. Donna says, I was lazy, Steffi. I just pinned the template onto the felt and cut around it. I didn't bother drawing it. You're learning, Donna. You're learning from me. I try to be a little bit more, I don't know, a bit more professional today. Lizzie, my mum said the same when I met him. He's my bit of rough, and I need him young to keep up with the 6 kiddies. Oh, bless. Oh, 6 kids and husband. Faith, you deserve a medal. You certainly do. Definitely. I guess your husband deserves one too. We're in times of equality. Okay, Erica found the site. Ordered my advent calendar this morning. Excellent. Using my brush mat, it works great. Oh yeah, I've read that already. Pamela says, these are addictive. I made 3 this morning with 6 more cut out and ready to stop. Wow, you have been busy. Just remind me, Pamela, what time is it at yours? It's like really early in the morning. I just love using, I love using just one needle. I do as well. I think I might have a stabbing problem. You definitely have. I love using one needle too. I just, you know, it gives you the maximum benefit from stabbing. Why make it go away faster? And then Faith says, speaking of Sophie, I remember the first video when both of you were making huge pansies for the wall behind you. Yeah, huge flowers and pansies. So that video is still on YouTube. You can look at that anytime. And Alicia says, are the larger ones made on the pre-felt? Can you send us a link? No, they're also made on exactly the same felt. So you can see this is one from the back, and you can see these have got the white felt. The only difference between these and the small ones is that we're using the wool tops, and it's the, in fact, Alicia, it's the wool tops you love. It's the space dyed wool tops. I'm just having a quick look. I probably have got some here that I can show you. Yeah. So it's these kind of wool tops. This is obviously a slither of it. They come in thicker strands. But what I love about these, and one of the reasons why they work so well, is because the color runs into the other color. So they're extra good for using on these large pansies. This one is an extra floppy one. So yeah, so they're really good for using on the large pansies, because can you see, especially up here, you can see that was, this one here is our flower garden, but the one that we've used here is our berries, so it's just pinks and purples for that one. And I wonder if I've got some more of these wool tops in my special fiber box. Oh, I've got some more flower garden in there, but not any of the others. We also have Cornish Seaside, which is really colourful. Just double checking I'm not hiding them anywhere. What's in here? Oh, is that my... Oh, you're in luck. There we are. I can show you them. So this is the flower garden I was talking about. I have to find the beginning there. So that works really well for the, this works for the small pansies as well, but because you've got such a long stretch of color, you might not get the benefit of that on the smaller ones. More flower garden. This one is the Cornish Seaside. It's really lovely, love it. So these are wool tops, Australian merino wool tops. And then what else I've got? There's the parrot. The parrot, I think it doesn't work so well for the pansies because the colors are running side by side, but we've seen some amazing things happening with this because it was our free fiber sample. And then this one down here is the rainbow. Got some really bright colors in there. How amazing is that? And I've just got to show you something. If you want to separate the fibers, you have to, don't do this because you're never going to separate it, but if you hold it like this, you have to watch this probably in slow motion. I just have to put a bit more air in there. Because I just love how these fibers, I hope I'm not going to knock myself out now. Look, isn't that amazing how these fibers just, oh, I love this. Look at this. Come on, have a bit of color therapy right here in front of you right now. Look, isn't that nice and bright? So nice. Ooh. Oh yeah, and then we've got a pale one. This is the, I think we call it Pastel Rainbow, that's it. And there is one missing, which is the berries, which I can't see in here. Oh, what's this? No, that's more of the flower garden. But the berries is basically just this without the blue. So lots of, and lighter pink in there as well. Really amazing wool tops. And that is what we've used on all of these. On this pansy here, you can see this is the flower, this is the berries here in the background. You might not be able to see it, but so yeah, that's basically what you use for the large pansies. For the small ones, you can get away with these smaller wool tops because they, wool butts, because they're easier to mix and to separate. So coming back to the flower, hopefully you've caught up with me now. I'm just going to go small again. And now we need to put them together. So as I said earlier, these two, usually one hides behind the other. So I'm going to put them on top of each other. And then I'm going to put this one, this is the bottom petal, so to speak, underneath, and you can see that these are overlapping. All of these are overlapping right now. So if you didn't want to use this little felt disc, you could already just stab these together by just stabbing straight into that petal there. Sorry, I'm showing you the wrong way. That one goes on first. Sorry. Rewind. So that one goes on there first. So you could already stab that one in there. There you go. And then this is the last one, so this one goes on last, and you can stab that in there as well. If you want to use that little disc for extra strength, then you put that on the back here and use maybe a fiber that you have used elsewhere, or failing that, use yellow, because we're going to put a yellow center into all of them, because that yellow is going to be pushed all the way to the other side now. So it will emerge on the other side. And that also helps you to fuse them together from the back. And then you can turn it over. You can see the yellow fibers have come out here. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to add a little bit of, they often, pansies often have sort of like colors running into the petals, and that finishes them off nicely. So you can see here these darker colors, and for this you need a bit of your black and a bit of your purple, and you mix those, and then you're going to almost like draw into, by just putting a more straight line into the petals. You try and do this as symmetrical as you can, but if it's not symmetrical, I promise you there isn't a single flower out there that's really very symmetrical, and then do it into, this is only those lower petals. You don't touch the top petals, these two that are identical, you don't touch them again. This is just in those, on these lower petals, and all the while you're stabbing towards the center, you're still fusing the petals together in the center. So that's why you don't necessarily need that disc. There you go. And then once you've done that, you can be quite creative with this by putting lots of streaks into the center. Once you've done that, then you finish it off with that bright yellow right in the center, like that. Give it a nice sort of bright little eye that's looking out at you, and that finishes your pansy off entirely. And then it should be all fused together there. How nice is that? And that's what it looks like from the back. You can give it minor adjustments, the opposite from what I tried to say. And then all you need to do is to decorate yourself, you need a brooch pin. And if you've got our pansy packs, whether it's the workshop one or not, then we have these special, I'm going to go closer in the other way because you can see it better that way. We have these special brooch pins. I'm going to come really close there. And if you look at that, it has got, come on, zoom in. Are you zooming in? Where are you? There. Come on. Oh, you can still only see me very clear in the background. I'll try and bring this up so distract from it. Anyway, this is a coilless safety pin. You can insert that from the back like that, and then where you normally expect this coil to be, because it's now not there, you can swivel it round, and now you've got a perfect attachment that you can then attach to yourself. So the pansy needs to be worn so that this arrangement here with the larger petal and the two smaller ones are facing down, and then the two same petals where one's hiding behind the other is at the top. And that is how a pansy would not naturally sit on a stalk, because that's how they grow basically. So this pansy is done. I hope you've all been able to keep up with me. What I can do is I can make another one quickly if anybody wants to see this again, and in a different colorway and in a different variety. So I'm just going to grab some more felt, so you might just have to bear with me on this because I wasn't prepared to do another one, and I haven't got another pack with me, but I could just grab some felt, which I know I've got somewhere here. Some felt anywhere here. Oh, there it is. I knew there was some. I'm just going to cut another square bit off. I'm going to do another one. There. Okay. Same as before. Do it a bit faster. And then if anybody has got any questions and they need to see anything in particular again, then you can put all of that out now whilst I'm drawing around my petal shapes. And as Donna said earlier, she just holds it and cuts around it, and I'm going to be brave and do that too because it goes faster. So that's another way of cutting out the shapes, especially because you don't need to be so precise. It really doesn't matter if there's a little bit. As you can see, all of the petals, they bend forward a bit, so they become quite more organic looking, and therefore a little kink in there adds to the authenticity of the look. Going around this one here now. And I expect to see lots of finished pansy flowers when I check in later on the Facebook page, Every Wanna Make. I haven't mentioned that today yet. Most of you know about it already, but if you don't know about it, we have got a separate Facebook group where we encourage everybody to share what they've made from our ideas, materials, books, inspiration, anything that you sort of get up to with our stuff. And it's called Every Wanna Maker. I think we've got over 2,000 members on there, and it's a very supportive, lovely group, and we're always happy to do the oohs and ahs, the authentic oohs and ahs. Of course, we're not making that up, and it's basically what keeps us going as well, because we it would be a lonely world if we just if we would just receive orders, and that's we need to do that too, but that's not why we're doing it. We love doing what we do, because we love to hear from you guys what you're up to and how you've used the materials, ideas, subscription boxes, kits, books, all of that. Right, cut out 4 more shapes. I'm just going to fill this in quickly now. I'm going to make a quick yellow petal, or maybe I should do one with 2 different backgrounds again. Oh well. What am I going to do? Oh, I'll just do a yellow one, and I mix the 2 yellows to make the difference. I could even put a bit of pink in there. You can be quite creative. So I'm using pink and yellow, light pink and yellow in the background, and I'll just zoom in a bit again so you can see it better. There we go. Use these 2 colors. This is very hard on your felting mat. You will end up with fibers sticking on there. Any flat felting will do that. We do have a really handy brush, a rubber brush that takes care of these fibers. I haven't brought one here to show you. I must remember to have one next time. But if it doesn't bother you, then just leave them on there. It's not gonna spoil your work unless you're working with something extremely white afterwards. Just stab into there. By the way, I'm using a medium needle. The coarse needle is a little bit too thick to work its way into the wool felt, or wool viscose mix, I should say. Putting that in there. It really works if you're mixing the fibers. If you're making a blue pansy, then mix the fiber with no, actually you don't need to mix it with white because it's already white felt, but just apply it really sparingly, unless you want a really sort of strong single colored blue. Right, there's one. Second. You can see how quickly you can churn these out. It really doesn't take very long to create them. So I know that we're starting to talk about Christmas, and I just think, or any time of the year, I think these things are so nice if you make a little card and you pin it on there. So the pansy itself is a decoration, but then when you pin it on there, it also can turn into a brooch, and it's just such a lovely little gift that also doubles up as a card. And then you don't have to go out and buy an expensive card. Just make up your own, and have the pansy as the main feature, and write your message inside, and maybe say, this is your gift. You can take it off and wear it. There we go. So got 2 petals roughly about the same there, and now I'm working on the 3rd one, which is going to be at the front. And I actually changed my mind. I think I'm going to make it a little bit more pink than just yellow. I do like yellow pansies, but I want this to be a bit different. So I'm mixing now the bright pink with the bright yellow, and put that down here. And remember, that is also the color that you will use for your figure 8 for the double petals, the smaller ones that you've got there. So with these, I'm not even felting them down so much because I'm speeding this work up a bit now. Just reading some of the comments here as well, because I don't think they stay on there forever and ever. So if anybody's watching this later on, you might not necessarily benefit from what people wanted to say there and then while I was doing it. Oh, Sophie is there as well. So Alicia says she's got her bear hug kit. That's amazing. She won that in one of our competitions. We do lots of online competitions, so you must go and give our Facebook page a like. That's the first thing you need to do, and then you can follow us as well on Facebook. That's different from liking us. We want you to like us, and we want you to follow us. A lot of people just follow but don't like. So if you like us, then like us, give us a likes. And then you can also follow us by then you sort of like on our groupie horizon. And then we have got a separate group. This is our talking about our main Facebook page. We have a separate group that's called Everyone a Maker. And it reminds me, every time I say this, it reminds me of having a drink, because we now have our, so I just have to drink some out, hang on. We now have our personalized and customized mugs. Everyone a Maker, that's the name of our Facebook group. And if you get your mug, then you know what we mean by saying in my happy place with the makers. And as I said earlier, I'm used to it now, but the tea tastes extra nice out of this mug. So it's definitely worth of an investment. We sell these on our website, and you can get your own mug and you can join in with the makers making stuff. Right, so 2 of these are going behind the other. Then I've got my figure 8 on top, and then I've got the final one sitting right in the middle, and all of these need to touch where my finger is, and that is the main thing for getting them to fuse together. And then you don't need that little disc on the back, but if you feel for extra security, you can put it on the back. You turn that whole pansy over then and felt it on at the back here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just felting this straight in now. And then you can draw with a little bit of a purple and black mix. It's a really, it's not quite black, and it's not quite, it's deeper than just plain purple. So it's a good way, that's why you've got the black in there, is to mix the purple with the black, and then just do a few little drawings just into the, when I say drawing, I mean you're sort of following more, you use the needle more like you would maybe like a pen to make a straightish line going into the petals. And they don't need to be perfect. No flower is perfect. They all have complete imperfections on them. It's just that we perceive them as perfect. And remember to lift it off, go into the smaller petal, which is part of that figure 8, and you don't touch the back petals again. So once they are done, they're done. And go into there, and then all you do at the very end, you just put a orange center into the middle, and you've made another pansy flower. And so this was the speedy version of the slower version I did earlier. And lift it off, and the flower will it will sort of automatically tip forward. And then obviously if you want to wear it as a brooch, just put the brooch back, or the no-sew brooch back, best still, into there, thread it through, and then you're ready to wear it. And that's basically it. So you've got all these pansies. You could be making a flower wreath. I did actually make a flower wreath when it's a sad occasion, but it was very, very beautiful when my friend died, and they said wildflowers, and I just thought, well, we'll deteriorate, because it was staying out in all of the elements. And I made her this beautiful wreath, and it was all, like I said, all wool, so there was no issue with environmentally issues. And that was left for her when real flowers would have wilted, is that a word? Wilted would have wilted much quicker. I'm such a great inventor of new words. So there you are. Or you, of course, like I said, you can go large, make the large pansy, or make your pansy fairy. That's not too late yet. This kit, we have, I think, a handful of these boxes left. These are all limited edition. Once they're gone, they're gone. And this is part of our subscription box. And the one for, where are we? In July is going to be a wild rose fairy. So look forward to this one as well. But there's a little collection there of all of the fairy boxes so far, and I think the one that we're the lowest in stock is the Forget-Me-Not fairy, so that seems to have been a really popular one. Just have another little read of what's going on here. I don't know at which point Sophie joined us. I hope she's still there. Oh yes, so basically, hang on, I'll just catch up with this, and then so there we are. So not on pre-felt. Pamela says it's 6:30 now. Yes, it was a bit early to blossom, but I couldn't sleep waiting for this chat to start. Oh, you're so nice. Oh, I can't imagine that anybody would want to be like shaking in their boots to watch me waffle on. But good for you, because hopefully you know now how to make beautiful pansies and decorate your house and yourself. How on earth do they manage to dye the wool like that? I still have no idea about wool dyeing. So I think they dye it by laying the strands out. This is the space dyed wool we're talking about. Laying the strands out and then applying the dye in section. It's quite it's a far more labor intensive work rather than dyeing different strands and then having them run side by side like the parrot that we have got. Alicia says, oh yes, I have all those, so where can I find the white felt? Can I please have a link? I can't find it. Thanks, I found cream, not white. Okay, so when I say white, we're actually, I think we're using cream. We have got white in stock as well now. We need to list a few more. The white and the cream, there's not much difference, I promise you. Once you've got it down, I think this one, yeah, this one is cream and this one is white. So I don't think you see terribly much difference, which is why we sort of haven't bothered to have both. But if you want the pure white, and we just need to make sure that we list that one. I think there's a few colors that we haven't listed. Yeah, so the white is actually off-white. Thank you. And Donna says, I spin as well, so remember the keeping hands well apart to pull tops and roving apart. Great, yes, that's it. I'm using the leftover tops from the butterfly freebie to make my pansies. Great idea, Lizzie. That's amazing idea. Hadn't thought of that. Alicia, never found your kit, Lizzie. Never found your kit, Lizzie is asking. Did you not get a kit in, are you saying, what did you not get? Okay, we need to clarify that, Lizzie. What are you missing? Tell us. Diane says, I've used the wool tops and they are really lovely. Thank you, Diane. And Pamela says, depends on the staple length. Absolutely. So these really, really fine fibers that have been turned into wool tops, they've got really a long staple or fiber. And when you try and tear it, you can't actually, you don't want to sever the fiber. You're just letting them sort of slither away. So it's like this, and then they slither away rather than cutting your fingers off. That sounds terrible, but you get the gist. Donna says, I think the space dyed tops would make great fairies. Oh, I agree. I really want to use some of those. Yeah, definitely. And that's why they are special pins. Got to get them. Absolutely, Alicia. We're not just fobbing you off with safety pins. This was like one of the happiest moments in our crafting life that Sophie and I experienced when we found these. Because people spend hours sewing on brooch backs, and we can do it within seconds now. So that's when Sophie joined. Hello everybody, or Sophie missed the bit about the brooch backs, I think, because she would still dance the dance of delight. The pins are awesome, Alicia. Got some a while ago. And also the great thing is that you don't have to buy loads, because you don't have to keep them in your brooch when you're not wearing it. You can just take it out again and then use it on another one. So it's not like you have to buy hundreds of these brooch backs, because you can reuse them. Faith, thanks for the help yesterday. Ready to frame now. Okay, so that's the butterflies. Oh yeah, I haven't mentioned that yet, but the butterfly, thank you for reminding me, is of course also flat felting onto a piece of fabric. So this is our subscription box. You've got a few days left, so you really don't want to miss this. It's a really big picture. Wouldn't it look nice with pansies around it and fairies next to it and having this in a frame? There's a whole theme going here. Definitely a summery theme, and it's amazing how different everybody's butterfly looks like, but they're all absolutely amazing, and they look like an artistic piece of work. So you can still get this subscription box until the end of the month, midnight of the 30th of June. So don't miss out. And then next month we have got the dachshunds come. I haven't even brought them because they look a bit out of place here with all the fairies and the butterflies. So just a few more days. And Faith says, yes, thank you, Sophie. As always, Steffi is doing an amazing job. I now want to buy space dyed tops. Sorry, Faith. And Maria, oh hi, this is Maria, Emma's mum. Hi Steffi and everyone. The postman has just delivered a box from the makers. Emma has just surprised me with a gift of toolbox on the go, and an extra large square earth mat. Wow, you've got a very, 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 very nice daughter there, but we know that already. The toolbox to go is basically, you can get either one of these on one side and then just an A4 with no compartments on the other side. It comes with a handle. I've got mine on the go all the time. I've got it so much on the go, I don't even know where it is. Ah, there it is. Reach to the back. We're running low on stock on these, but we've got a new delivery coming. So it's basically these boxes slide in there, and then you can, what I really like about it is that I've got several of these on the go. So if I need to go somewhere, which at the moment we might have to go from the sitting room to the bedroom, but when we go out and about again, then they will be really handy because you can load it up with your favorite books. That on one side you might have the project in there because these are A4 boxes, or you could have on both sides, you could have the compartments. We do give you that option as well, and then just lots of useful things here. So definitely a great one to have. Thank you, Maria, for pointing that out. Alicia says, thank you, Emma. And SS, I got my bear hug today. Whoop, says Emma. Helen used a bit of fluff I trimmed off to fill in bare parts. Great. And then Faith says, wow, Maria, you will have to let us know how you get on with the extra large size. That's the earth mat. So the extra large size is well, as it says, really big. And I'm on the fence as I have the A4 at the moment. So we have A4. We start with A6, which is what I've used for the pansies, that one. And then we've got A5, which is that size. And then we've got A4, which is that size. And then we've got A3, which is that size. And then we've also got large square, which is bigger than any of those, and an extra large square, which is even bigger. The square ones we don't have in as a regular. We have them occasionally, so if they're still in stock, then it's a good time to get it. Erica says, have to get all the cows in. See you later. Oh, we've got a farmer lady here. Excellent. So bye, Erica. She's probably gone by now. Give them a hello from us. Yeah, she's going to say hello to all the cows now. Yes, Lizzie, the no-soap brooch backs are the best invention ever. Oh, I'm glad you caught that, Sophie. So messages to Donna and Alicia from Sophie here. Helen says, damped my fingers and gently rubbed the mat clean. Excellent. That's a really good idea. Or use, if you don't want to dampen your fingers, just use a rubber glove on your hands and then you can get it off. Or like I did, you just pick it off. So you can clean these mats, but as everybody knows, when you do needle felting, you do get fiber stuck in places where, well, that sounds a bit ubiquitous. You can get fiber stuck on your felting mat, and then if that annoys you, can get them off again. Good job using bits. They also melt in well for those of us that wet felt. Oh, I see. Excellent. So you keep even the bits you've pulled off. Excellent. Like extra fluff. It's a bit like belly button fluff. Maybe you should use that for needle felting. That'd be fun. Just posted a picture of the brush on the Everyone and Makers Facebook page. Great, thank you. And then Alex says, loved this, Steffi. Sophie says, hi, Maria. Donna says, mug ordered on Monday. We'll get it with the next subs box. So excited. And Maria says, I'm really lucky because I'm a new subscriber and a new felter. So now I'm set up really well from the start. And what's more, Maria, you've also got an expert living with you. So that's even better. And Annette says, thank you. And Sophie says, thank you to everyone who has ordered an advent calendar today. The super early bird one sold out in less than 3 hours. Wow, that's fantastic, says Diane. Alicia says, yes, Maria, wish I had found the makers first. I ordered some other stuff and now I have to use it. Oh, there's lots of uses for other stuff. We'll replace it with the makers products when it needs to be. And Pamela says, and I'm trying to pronounce this now, but I think Pamela says, woo-oi, Sophie. Is this an American phrase that I'm not familiar with? We normally just say hello here. Woo-oi. Oh, maybe you wanted to say woohoo. I'm familiar with that one. And then Laura says, when do the early bird ones come out? Oh, they've already come out. They're gone. Pamela says, pansy patch. Excellent, a pansy patch. Early bird out now, Laura. The price just changes on the product listing when each price sells out. Okay. So Lynn says, fabulous tutorial, thank you. Jane says, really beautiful, I love pansies. I love pansies too. Laura says, thank you. Mo says, I've finished my pansy. Thanks for live. Excellent. And Sophie says, I am. Hello, but I don't know what the question was again. And I'm not getting to the end of it. I love that I always feel so involved with the makers. I don't have that anywhere else. So thank you for that. I can't wait till Advent and being involved with all the fun. Great. Diane says, brilliant again, Steffi. Thank you. Hope to make 4 o'clock. Well, it's actually 20 past 4 because I gave the wrong information out. But it's better you're there early than missing it. So Alicia says, thank you all makers. Oh, maker C. Maker C. That's the E for Emma at the end. Oh my God. Are you going to put all the letters in there of all the people who work for us? You'd be surprised. We have 3 more S's here. An A and an L and a K. I'll leave that to you to work out the perfect name for us. And Donna says, thanks again, Steffi. Another fun. Oh no, I think I've read that already. But anyways, sounds nice, so I should read it again. Thank you, Steffi. Bye, Donna. Take care. Haha, I was there for the brooch. Ah, yeah, great. Sophie says, pins and yes, still love them so much. Leaves more time for felting. Exactly. Thanks, Steffi. Daniel, love this first felt along. Oh, was it the first time, Daniel, you were actually felting along to me? Oh, that's amazing. Helen says, I have that box. This is the box we're talking about, the toolbox on the go. And what else? I have the box and it's brilliant, excellent. I've used tumble dryer fluff for shading. Oh my God, anybody use belly button fluff? Come on, I need to know now. Lizzie says, I'm saving the fluff from grooming my cat to make brooches. Oh, that's a good idea too. And Faith says, thank you so much as always. Look forward to seeing you all again soon. And Helen says, managed 2 pansies. Excellent. I told you they're really quick to make, so that's really good. And Pamela says, have a lovely day. Back to bed for me. Snoring noises already. So that's it. I will go now, but hopefully I see you later on our virtual tour around the workshop, and you see how lucky we are being surrounded by all the fantastic goodies that you only get a little taste of now and then. Some of you get a bigger taste, I think, but some of you get a smaller taste. So I see you later, and this is on Facebook, so if you want to watch this at any point, you have to go to the Wool Fest Online 2020. I don't know how long they're going to leave this up, but it's not going to be one on our YouTube channel, though we are planning to do one of those as well at some point. So I stop talking now, and I will see you later. Bye bye.